Hello there, dear listener. As you know, The Shunned is a series that takes place in the aftermath of a school shooting. We would like to warn you that this particular episode has a much more direct connection to the shooting than any of the ones before it, featuring scenes and memories from the event. Given everything that has happened and continues to happen in the real world, we fully understand if this is too much. Don't be afraid of skipping this episode or the remainder of this series in that case. With that said, and if you're still here with us, here is The Shunned.
Dwayne, in the Switzer's house. Yes, this place is comfortable. It is secure, it is familiar, it makes you think of when you were younger. In fact, some of the decoration in here is very close to when you were a younger man. You're sure it would have changed by now.
I begin moving through the house, and again, now I know why I'm here. It's easier to understand what's going on. What was the last thing I saw before everything went crazy? I saw Eric. He was dead. It was Eric. I know it was Eric. Who do I blame? Myself. It's my fault, isn't it? I thought I'd leave him alone because he'd have a better life with his mom and his dad. And he didn't need me ruining his life, and it would have ruined my life as well, even though she passed soon after. Like, it just made everything so much more complicated. This was the easier way, but no, maybe I could have done something. Maybe I could have convinced him to not do things that led him to be the man he became, who was dead in that room and rotting like rotting like someone who'd been brutally murdered. I don't understand, but maybe that's what's going on. He's here, isn't he? He'd be here in the house. I gotta find him. I'll apologize, and then I'll wake up, and that's the point of all this. So I start moving through the house, and if I see stairs, maybe he's upstairs in a room, a children's room where he would have grown up. Let's see if I can find that. That makes sense.
All of this seems utterly logical to you. You convince yourself that of course this is the way to make it make sense. And as you pass down the hall, you pass by a mirror on the wall. You remember that mirror. You remember once coming here, you must have been in your mid-20s, standing in that mirror, straightening your tie after spending some time with Eva Switzer, combing your hair again before going back out on the beats and catching up with your colleagues to see if anything had happened beyond a traffic stop. And as you look in that mirror at the foot of the stairs, you catch not just yourself looking back, someone you've not seen for around 20 years. It's Susan, your wife. She's watching you from behind this surface, this mirror. She's skeletally thin. Her head is bald. She's dressed in a hospital gown. She looks as she did at the end of her life. She presses her hand against the mirror from her side.
I go to the mirror. I feel shame. I feel shame because she's here looking at me in this place. She didn't know. She shouldn't have known. Maybe now she does here. And maybe she does wherever she is. And I just go to the mirror and I try and touch the mirror where she's touching. And I say, I'm sorry, Susan. I'm sorry things turned out this way. I'm sorry.
You can see tears rolling down her cheeks. Unreal, you realise, because when she was close to death, you remember a point where she was so dehydrated she couldn't even cry. The hospital did everything it could, but One of those frustrations you took out on the nurses, the doctors at the time. Why isn't she being given enough water? Why isn't she being given enough juice? Isn't she supposed to be on a drip? All of these things to stave off the inevitable. But now you can see her tears, and while you can't hear anything from her, there's no sound. Her eyes are saying, "Oh my love, what have you become?"
Begin to tear up as well. I feel that question and I have to answer. I say, I don't know, Susan. I couldn't do it without you. We were good. You were good. I was good, I swear I was, but without you, I don't know. Carol's not who she is because of me now. She's who she is because of you. Is Eric who he became because of me? Is that what this is all about?
She clasps her hands to her heart and cries. A light above your head goes out. The surface of the mirror is black, and she is gone.
I am frustrated. I try and see her in the mirror. I want to see her. I wanted to see Susan. I want to say so many things. Where's she gone? No, come back. Susan, where are you gone?
There's no response. Could you make a see through the illusion roll, please?
5.
In some cases, seeing through the illusion reveals something utterly disturbing, especially when you fail. You catch too close a glimpse of Inferno or Metropolis, where you find a lictor staring back at you. In your case, your failure gives you the most disturbing sight of all. In this mirror right now, you can see yourself with crystal clarity. You can see every line on your face, every nick from where you've shaved, and every dot of stubble where you've not. You can see the sweat marks on your shirt, some new, some old. You can see the age at the corners of your eyes. You feel like you can see the alcohol on your breath. You can see the thinness of your scalp under the thinness of your hair. You can see how old and run down and rotten inside you have become. You see nothing more than that, but perhaps that's enough. Lose another stability.
I stare at myself. This thing I've become. Not fair. I did good. I deserved better than this. Fuck this. And I'll punch that mirror. Break it. Smash it. Fuck it.
Unlike the posters on the wall, this mirror does break. It is a separate component. It smashes, it falls to the ground, and you have bloody knuckles as a result.
It hurts. That's good. For clarity, Okay. I get it. I need to keep going. Fuck this. Eric! Somehow, the sympathy I felt for him almost mixing with anger, because maybe he is involved. I didn't want to believe he was involved, but maybe he was. Maybe this whole nightmare is somehow because of him. Maybe that then means it's because of me too. I don't know, but I'm gonna move away from this mirror. And Eric, where is he? He's in this house. He has to be. I know he is.
You hastily explore the house, looking through every room, even going so far as to lift cushions, not knowing what you'll find exactly, just looking for something. And this place, contrary to much of your surroundings, is well defined, again, down to the thread in some places, as if it's pulled directly from someone's clear memory of this house. But again, the proportions are all wrong. Everything is a little too large, a little too distended, as if you're looking up at it from a small height. But you're not able to find anyone alive in here, or anyone dead. You're not able to find anyone but yourself reflected back in several of the surfaces. And each time you see yourself, you look older and thinner and more decayed than the last time.
I begin tearing things, I begin breaking things, I begin roaring in anger and frustration that I don't deserve this shit!
You hear an engine outside the house, a car engine. And then it stops.
I try and get out of the house as quickly as possible. I heard something, I need to see what it is. I run to the door, fling it open, if I can.
It's open. Are you running toward the sound or away from it?
Towards the sound.
In that case, you see it. 2004 Toyota Camry. License plate ACG809B. You don't need to make a roll for this. You remember this exactly. You remember being given these details once upon a time by Jessica Inzio. This is the car she drove. Erin. The young woman you were told to get rid of. The car is covered in mud and algae. It looks as if someone has dragged it up from a swamp where it had been buried for years. The driver's door is open as if someone's just stepped out and left just now. Wet footprints lead away into the woods.
My anger catches in my chest and in my gut, mixing with shame and horror. But okay, I get it. I kind of just stumbled to the car. I get it. I wordlessly just begin moving in the direction of the trail. I think I know what I'm gonna find.
Sylvia, you feel like you're waking up from having passed out. You don't know if you have. This place feels so much like a dream. But you're still in the backyard. The smell of barbecue is still present.
I sit up. I feel a sting of pain in my hand, both from where the flesh has been torn by those leaves, and then I look down and I see the blisters from the heat wave from that fire. Was that here, or was that just something I saw? And then I realize it's down on the hand where I got burnt before, where that coffee machine burnt me, where I touched Henry and he made them go away. And I'm brought back to that moment in the morgue where I felt like I got healed by him and I felt his presence. And I am reminded that in some way I'm still doing this for him. And that helps me find some new resolve. I get up on my feet. Is there still no one in sight? It's just this backyard and the barbecue.
Good question, because you can see someone now. They're stood by the swing set, looking sad. It's a man. Back to you. Appears to be in a suit. Takes you a moment to register, but you recognise the body shape. You remember approaching this man from behind when he was wearing a suit, and the way he turned and smiled when he saw you. It's your ex-husband, Brian. Only the time that he turned and looked over his shoulder, you were in a wedding dress. And he was in the suit he wore, of course, for your wedding. And now as you approach, he turns, but there's no look of affection there. There's a look of disgust, of pity. Sylvia?
I feel a sting of pain being brought back to that memory, but then I remember my sentiments towards this man. And it comes out softer than I intend. It's almost like a whisper. Brian.
Sylvia.
I flinch.
He advances on you at speed. I should have taken Richard with me.
Stay back. Go away. You're not real.
He waves his right arm in a circular gesture. It was you who destroyed him.
No! I turn, I try to start running.
You're sick! You're sick! Rotten! Rotten inside! You poison everything and everyone around you!
And I wanna shout out some defiant defense, but I feel like his words, even this manipulation, this twisted image of him, is right. It hurts. It strikes straight down to the core. That shame that I'm trying to repress. Of how I failed my family. And I scream, I try to hold my ears as I'm trying to run away from him. I say, it wasn't my fault. I can't help being like this.
His right foot folds upwards into his mouth. His head twists abruptly to the left. And then he appears to turn inside out, contorting, folding inwards until there's nothing there.
At the sound, I just look back and I see this, and I'm just holding my hands in front of my mouth in horror, even though this has to be some sort of digital projection. It's too absurd to watch, because he still looks real. And then what does he turn into?
A shadow. There is nothing there. Nothing to imply that he was ever there. Just a grey mark on the swing set and on the lawn.
Brian? Anyone? Is anyone else in here?
You hear the sound of gunfire.
I twitch. Shit. Where did that come from?
There's a trail that leads away from this house.
Oh, God. Oh, God. Without thinking, it's like everything is fighting against me taking action at all in here. I start walking down that trail.
You think it will last some time, like it will be a long, traumatic walk, the things you've been through already, the experiences you've felt, but instead it's a short hop from this house to the outskirts of Devonsport High. You can see Toby hunched there on the slope leading up to the school fence, as if he's about to enter some infantry charge in the Great War. Toby, you're looking over the bank, trying to see what's going on in the school, occasionally seeing flashes and hearing the gunfire. You hear screams. Sylvia, you also hear screams. Dwayne, in your flight and pursuit of those wet footprints, you come stumbling out of the woodland as well, close to your companions. But Toby, before you can register their appearance or move onward toward the school, you hear a voice from down beside you in the ditch.
I look to where the voice is coming from.
Toby? There's a little boy. He reminds you of your brother, Ken.
Oh, hey, it's really dangerous here. Keep your head down, all right? You hear the gunshots. We have to stay safe. Just be quiet and stay here, all right?
No, I need to look after him. And he shows you that in his arms there's a white rabbit, and he's stroking him.
He's beautiful.
See, the fur feels all warm and smooth. But look! He lifts up the big rabbit with both hands and shows its underside to you. It's raw, hairless, and infested with maggots, centipedes, and all kinds of vermin that creep and crawl out from an infected wound in its stomach.
And I just begin backing away. I've gotten up now, not even caring if I am putting myself in danger. I'm backing away from the child and this disgusting thing that he's holding. He's not real.
Nothing to do but kill it, right?
And I begin backing further away. Stay away.
Dwayne and Sylvia, you can both see this boy and the rabbit that he's now holding up by the ears as it struggles and twitches. But you can also hear the gunfire and the screams, and as a gunshot flies past and grazes you, Toby, tears through your vest, the boy starts. He drops the rabbit to the ditch and runs off in the direction of Dwayne, but past Dwayne and into the woods.
Motherfucker, I'm so stupid. I try to get into cover and then try to approach the school. I have to get out of the line of fire.
I stumble into the area confused. This is not what I was expecting. What does this mean? I don't get it. But again, seeing gunfire and Toby ducking, I just instinctively just try and dive for cover myself.
And me too. As I see Toby getting nicked by a bullet, I realize the danger. My first thought having been, what sick fuck recreated this scene. But then I just dive to the ground as well. And I'm not too far away from Dwayne. You're here. What have you... What do we do?
I don't know. Get in there. Get in. Stop. Someone's firing guns in there. We need to stop them.
What if we can find out the other person who was there, the one they didn't find? We have to find out who it is. It's relevant. And Henry's in there. And I'm getting a bit hysterical as thoughts verbalize. And I start crawling on the ground closer there, even in these clothes that I'm wearing that are not made for any kind of venture like this.
Try and reach out, say, Sylvia, the gun man in there. You ain't got a gun, so what are you gonna do?
I do have a gun, but I don't know. We just gotta keep low.
Hand me your gun. Why have you got a gun? Give me your gun. I try and scramble after her, just to... Now I know she has a weapon. Good, I need a weapon that I can do something.
I don't know if you're real. I don't know if I can trust you. I just say as I'm crawling ahead. I'm not even looking at you.
I don't even know if you're real. Doesn't fucking matter. Just give me the gun.
Sylvia, as Dwayne is shouting at you, and Toby, you are now being sent back to, at least mentally, back to out-of-control scenes of battle. Back to Iraq, back to Afghanistan. The screaming of the wounded, the panicked, civilians caught in the crossfire. This is the closest you've been to a gunfight since then. But it's you who notices the boy come emerging from the school doors first, as Sylvia and Dwayne clash over the gun. A boy in school uniform comes running out and sees Sylvia, runs toward her. Grandma!
Henry, get down! Down on the ground!
As you try and give him your best advice, given the difficulty of the situation, a taller figure, 9 foot in height, gangly, inhumanly strung out, carrying an assault rifle in hand, steps under the lip of the door, leans out. He's wearing a yellow raincoat, lifts the assault rifle, and a single pop. As Henry reaches you, Sylvia, the front of the boy's face explodes over you, his brains voiding onto your hips, your legs, your waist.
No.
The gangly, armed figure just lets out a wascally wabbit. I gotcha. Okay, there's 3 more.
No. No, I just say as one of my hands is clutching the gun, just lets it fall and drops on the ground next to me, and as I catch Henry's falling body in my arms.
I see this happen, and I'm shocked, but she drops the gun. Good, I'm sorry, I need that gun, and I go to grab it.
I'm not even looking at it at this point. I'm just holding him, feeling his warmth, feeling the warmth that is spilling out across my back as I'm hugging him, and his blood oozing over me, trying desperately to hold on to him. That's all I do.
There's no rigidity to Henry's body as he slumps in your arms. He's soft, like putty, malleable, utterly absent of life. There's no twitching, there's no kicking, certainly no recognition. There's just the flow of blood from his body that swiftly changes temperature from warm to cold until he feels just as he felt when you touched him in the morgue.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I gently lay him down on the ground.
I try and mutter to her something along the lines of, "Cover, damn it, woman!" But I don't care. We don't have time. I try and see Toby where he is, and I try and get near him, and then in reality, this would be stupid and ridiculous, but this isn't reality. I don't know what this is. I don't care. I'll call out, "Eric! Eric! Eric, is that you? God damn it, boy, if it's you, Eric, answer me!"
The tall figure's about to duck back into the school and then turns around, narrows his eyes, cocks his head slightly to the side. "I did not create you. What are you doing here? Who are you? Did she send you?" He points his gun at Dwayne and starts advancing. "I mean, I can take out another 3. I've only got 3 before the game resets, so I guess what's that? 6 in total."
At this point, I kind of just dart my eye to see what the fuck Toby's doing.
As I see that Dwayne has engaged this Eric thing in conversation, I figure that's my chance. I try to flank him, try to get behind him. I'm going to try and go for the gun. He's unbelievably large. But perhaps, just perhaps, I mean, what else can I do? I can't let this continue.
Could I ask for we'll go for reflexes roll, please, for Toby.
8, 2 plus 1, 11.
You're able to get closer to him, but it's not quite sufficient to do it without some kind of complication. Namely, as you close in on him from his blind side, he twitches slightly, one of his eyes rolls to the side and catches you. "Not another move there, Rambo."
We got you surrounded, Eric. It's over.
"This is my world. You are my guests. I am God. See what power I have?"
Power? I see nothing but a stupid boy acting like a stupid fucking idiot. That's what I see, boy.
There's a scream from inside the school. This makes him whirl around, and with pinpoint precision, he pulls the trigger and another head explodes. 5 to go.
As he does that, and I see that movement, I just give Toby this look, and I aim my gun and pull the trigger. In that moment when he looked away, I'm a trained police officer. I know how to shoot to kill.
You don't need to roll. The bullet hits you close enough. Bullet impacts the boy's body, thuds against him, and he reacts. A little like he's been stung by a bee. His face winces, and then he shakes it, and he looks blank, and snarls at you. Do you think that God cares about ants?
Drop the gun! I'll shoot again! Drop the gun, Eric! Drop the fucking gun, boy!
You know it's a novelty to be shot at. You know what they say about a good guy with a gun is the only one that can stop a bad guy with a gun. But I don't think that's true. So come on. Fire every bullet you've got. See if it can bring me down, slow me down a step.
I just begin firing at him, giving Toby this look and hoping he uses this to do something, because this is all I got.
I have to try to go for that gun. Perhaps it holds some power here. I mean, just like it did in the real world, right? There was something special about it. I'll try to wrest the gun out of his hands if I can even do that. He's so large.
Toby, I'll let you make a violence roll.
4 + 4 + 3, 11.
He is laughing hysterically as you are wrestling the assault rifle from his hands. But you're able to do it. You're able to pull it free. There's a mild look of concern on his face before he goes for the handgun that's at his waist. The bullets, they're not ricocheting off of him from Dwayne's firing, but they certainly aren't doing much more than cause a minor distraction. Nevertheless, it's enough for you to get that assault rifle away. And now he has a handgun in hand and looks at Toby dimly. You've been touched by Grace as well. What did she do for you? Did you do something for her? When you see her again, please tell her thank you for all this.
She? Who's she? I say as I'm holding the rifle aimed at him, ready to drop him at any time. Who's she?
She's Grace. She came to me in my visions. She was my angel of revenge. She gave me all of this. They looked down on me and thought I was weak. But look at them now. How weak they are. And my mercy. Like insects.
But you're stuck in here. Eric Switzer, you're stuck in here. This is not reality. But you have affected reality. You caused this school and these people to actually die. And now you're just stuck in here. Your body is rotting away. What do you hope to get from this? You're not getting anything from this. You're stuck in your own hell, I say, and as I slowly rise up, blood trickling down on my clothes, and start moving towards him.
He twitches and convulses at your words, quite demonstrably. This is my heaven, and if you don't want to be here with me, I can make it very easy for you. And could I ask for a reflexes roll from Sylvia? If she wants to get out of the way as he levels his handgun with her.
No, I don't care. I'm just walking towards him and I'm trying to use my own words as a shield, as a weapon, as I'm talking back to him. This is your hell. This is your penitence. And you are just a tiny little pawn in someone else's game.
He fires, and the bullet goes directly through your chest and out your back. There's a spray of blood as you concertina folding down. Mechanically speaking, you've been dealt a critical wound. Bleeding heart, liberals. And he points the gun at Dwayne and Toby. Which one of you's next? I'm waiting for a reset.
And as soon as he has fired at Sylvia, a level of a burst, center mass. I gotta take him down. Perhaps this weapon will do it. I fire.
Alright, make a violence roll, please.
13 + 3, 16.
The bullets riddle his body, and unlike the bullets from Sylvia's gun, these ones do embed themselves, and he does act pained. You're not sure how much of that's from the gun and how much of it's from Sylvia's words before you fired, but he is definitely feeling it now. He doesn't fall to his knees, but he growls. He looks anguished. Reset! And he disappears.
I kind of just stand there confused as he disappears and look around. Where's he gone?
The body of Henry is no longer lying beside Sylvia. In fact, you can hear the sounds of children playing in the school, or just the sound of children babbling. There's no sign of the carnage around. The only sign of what has just occurred, indeed the assault rifle is gone as well, the only sign of what has just occurred is Sylvia is still laying there with a hole cut through her.
Henry, are you still in there? Henry.
I move up to Sylvia. Perhaps I can help her. First aid.
Let's go for coolness, given the stress of the situation.
4 + 9 + 2, that's 15.
Well, your best guess is that if she's left in this state, she is going to die. You need to get her some serious first aid, and quickly. The best you can do is pack the wound, put pressure on it. All of the tried and true rituals of a medic, but not exactly the kind of thing that's going to long-term stabilize a chest wound.
Dwayne, I'll try to keep her alive. You get into the school, see if you can get a hold of a first aid kit or something like that, and tell them to lock everything down. There's a shooter coming.
I kind of look at Toby confused. Look at the school. I think, isn't it crazy what he's saying? Because this is all a dream. This doesn't affect anything, but I kind of look at Sylvia and, well, yeah, sure, I'll head into the school, because maybe Eric's in there. Just say, sure, I'll go. What did he mean? Toby, you're touched by grace as well. Why are you touched by grace?
I don't fucking know what he means. He's crazy. You just go in there. He said reset, right? This is a game, isn't it? He must have reset everything. Perhaps there's a chance to save everyone. If we act with the knowledge that we have, we can change the future. At least in this game.
I'll start heading into the school. Maybe I'll be able to see something. Whether or not I come back with a first aid kit, I don't know. But maybe I realize I need to speak to him properly. That wasn't the correct way. No, that wasn't the right way. That's not how you solve this, I think to myself. And I go into the school.
You enter the school, and much as the houses that you've seen before, at first it looks like a dark grey box from a distance. It's as if with the reset it isn't quite as clear, but as you approach, the detail starts colouring in. You did, of course, visit the crime scene shortly after the shootings occurred. The school you can see right now isn't identical to the school that experienced the trauma, the horror of Wilson going around shooting everyone, of course. The lockers are a different colour, there are other minor details different to what you're aware of, but you walk the corridors, there's no pupils in the corridors. They all appear to be in class, and you pass classrooms and you can see children in there and teachers in there. In many of those classrooms, rather worryingly, disturbingly, the faces of the pupils and the teachers are blank, or like photographs, flat and wrapped around a round object, as if someone hasn't put the detail in. These aren't important characters, and so they don't need to be fully designed for this game. But as you approach and see the name on one of the doors, Dubois, Science and Maths.
Dubois. Fucking Dubois. I'll go to the door. I'll open it.
You can see that in this class, Frank Dubois is standing at the head of the class in front of a whiteboard, and pupils are sat at their desks. The shape and distension of Frank Dubois is, well, much like everything else you've seen in this place, frankly unnatural. It's as if he's been designed with exaggerated detail. His body is sickly thin, his head is swollen, covered with odd tufts of grey hair, his eyes are completely black and water constantly, his glasses are precariously balanced on a tiny nose just above a huge, perpetually grinning mouth. His breath is laboured and wheezing. His chuckling and laughing is only interrupted by a phlegmatic cough. He doesn't acknowledge your existence. His students are all sat in their seats while he plods back and forth. They're giggling and laughing at the whiteboard, as if a rude word has been written on there and he hasn't noticed yet. But contrary, there's no words on there. It's the same arcane symbols that you've seen now several times, all daubed on this place. In Eric's apartment, across Devonsport.
That symbol. The weird one. I see. I kinda enter the room and I'll start walking to Dubois. Does anyone react to me? Or do they just ignore me?
They react to you, but it takes them time. It's like there's a delay of anywhere up to 10 seconds before the signal reaches them and the giggling stops. And the students are looking at you curiously. And Dubois turns his bulbous head.
Can I help you?
Frank Dubois, I presume?
That's right. And who might you be?
Keep my gun. For the moment, just on the side. I don't lift it. Even though I guess these aren't real kids, it wouldn't matter. And I just say, who was following you? Who are you afraid of, Mr. Dubois? I know everything. I've seen your diary. I've been in your home. Who was after you? What did it have to do with Patrick Wilson? What did it have to do with Eric?
His eyes shrink. The ocular cavities quite literally closing up like sphincters. His eyeballs are smaller. There's something cartoonish, but also disgusting.
Tell me, what did you say your name was?
Dwayne McLean, Chief of Police.
Tell me, Chief McLean.
And he looks at his students, and then he lowers his voice and leans in next to you.
Have you ever tasted it?
I don't quite follow.
Cunt.
Why does that fucking matter?
It's the sweetest taste in the world, Chief McLean.
And his wide grin just opens up and a mound of drool spills out down his brown tweeds and onto the floor.
I step back in disgust and rising anger. Answer the fucking question, you fucking freak. Who is after you? You afraid of someone? You wrote in your diary, they're coming to get me. When are they getting? I took care of it. But you didn't, did you? You didn't take care of it.
He twitches and, frankly, glitches as you put these questions to him.
All these kids are here for my amusement. Origin, source, code. I am a bad, abusive, corrupt, perverted, sycophantic, evil excuse for a teacher. Primary drives, abandonment, self-preservation, desperation, cowardice.
I don't really understand the stuff he's saying, but it sounds Is this really fucking Dubois? What Toby was saying outside about personal hell? This is a personal hell, but then does that mean... Is this a waste of time? I say to this being, you real Dubois, or are you just a fucking puppet or something? A game character?
Language, there's children present.
I lift my gun at this point, saying, you just said you're a coward, Dubois. Does me pointing a gun at you make you behave?
Please don't shoot. Please, I'll give you anything. Take one of the children, all of the children. Just don't hurt me.
Fuck this. Where is Eric?
Eric's coming. I need to hide.
Why? Why do you need to hide from Eric? What did he do to you? What did you do to him?
Eric is a bright spark. He's a bright young boy who never got the support he needed.
From you?
Me, Mum, Dad, boys, girls, no one showed him the respect he deserved. He deserves respect. He's God. Eric should be God. Eric is God. Whatever Eric wants, Eric can have.
Yeah? Where the fuck is Eric right now?
You hear gunfire outside. Toby and Sylvia. You hear gunfire approaching from the woodland direction. And a voice. I'm coming back with grenades!
Oh, God.
How's Sylvia doing?
Pale. Extremely close to passing out or entering shock.
I'll stay here with you, Sylvia. Don't worry.
You gotta stop him somehow. I try and get up. I gotta find Henry. He can make me whole again. You did it before.
Let's head inside. If you think you can make it, I'll help carry you. We'll get inside. We'll barricade ourselves. You can find Henry and we can find Dwayne. I don't know what the hell he's doing. We can try and save everyone.
Henry, I...
Sylvia, can you make an endure injury roll?
That's a 9.
You can move, albeit barely. But with every single step you take, the pain runs through you like an electric current.
I can't even keep my eyes open. I just grind my teeth. I accept the help of Toby as we go in, and I just mumble. I try to call out for Henry.
As you enter the school, you don't enter the same corridor that the chief entered. Not that you know that. But it is quite apparent that you're not in the school anymore. You're on a road. Looking behind you, there's no door. It's a road that stretches off into darkness behind, and in front, it's like a Dockland wharf. Warehouses, buildings, there's a strong smell of smoke, of fumes. There's a few buildings lit up. This isn't the same place. This isn't the same construct. This place feels a lot more vivid, real, less blocky, less polygonal. One of the buildings is lit up in red. There's a crowd of people stood around it in a semicircle. Mostly men, some women. You still bear your wounds, Sylvia, but you are able to deduce this place looks familiar to you. In fact, it feels familiar in two places, two ways. One, you've seen photos of old Devonsport from when the town was first built. This looks like that. It looks like the same docklands of Devonsport that you visited before, but rendered in age. And secondly, you recognise the building these people are standing around. It's the building that was on fire in your vision.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Roleplaying, where we played The Shunned for KULT Divinity Lost, which was written by Jonas Nelson, with additional material from Petanalo. The Shunned was released as part of the Screams and Whispers scenario collection. Our game master was our dear friend Matthew Dawkins, and the series has been sponsored by the fine folks at Helmgast. The music was made by H.M. Carceri, featuring a number of collaborations with other artists, and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon: Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julián, Camilla, Ludwig Manford, Bob Lange, Julián, Cameron, Xabier, and Antxon for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for KULT Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play KULT with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember, death is only the beginning.